Hello and welcome back to the Mind and Money podcast. I'm Sherry, a financial coach.
And I'm Val, a financial planner. And today we are talking about two topics that relate very well together and are very hot topics right now. One is underconsumption and the other one is the Project Pan.
You got it.
Tell me about Project Pan.
It started with focusing, I think, on makeup with the idea of you use what you have and don't buy another blush, for example, until you have completely exhausted the blush you have. And Project Pan comes from like traditional blush. You've got, it's that powder stuff and you've makeup expert here. You don't buy a new one until like you see the pan, till the pan is like free of all of the blush, which probably could take a really, really long time. So, and I think that's where overconsumption in the makeup industry has come from, in that like if it takes you 2 years to use a blush, that's pretty boring and you want to have another one. And to understand, it doesn't take up a lot of space, so it's not super visual, but it's a lot of clutter. So yeah, you're right. It does really lead into the underconsumption, which I've seen both, a lot of them on social media, specifically TikTok, to be able to see what are people doing to, reduce the clutter and help financially. And those are two things that I'm both super in support of.
And we were talking about this before we began, but the benefit to everyone, but then in specific, of course, our special little brains. One thing that I know I find when I use something up or see the pan, which blush was a good example that hit me in the feels because we'll dive into it in a minute. But when I do use something up and I'm like, ooh, like that is a satisfying thing to use something up and create space.
The dopamine hit off of emptying a product and like getting rid of it in your space, it's kind of like a double hit, because the first hit is, oh, I've used this up. Mm-hmm. And then the second one is I get to get rid of this, like throw it out, recycle it, whatever. So it's less clutter in your space. Yeah, the underconsumption trend, like I don't support the no buy weeks. No buy weeks I can get behind more than no buy like months and years, especially for ADHD brains, because when we try and do something for an extended period of time
and in an extreme,
that like leads us to resist it, and often resist it in a much polar opposite way. So being just able to focus on buying less and buying more intentionally. So like the low buy week, month, year, don't buy something until you're replacing something that you've either finished or you're very close to finishing, and just focusing in on intentional spending and spending that brings you joy. I started with a new client recently and I fucking love what she said. I asked her, like, outside of specific financial goals, like pay off X amount of debt, or like what are the things that she'd like to do in the next few months? And one of the things she said is she wants to be more intentional with her spending for like 85% of her spending. Mm-hmm. And then she said the other 15%, she wants that spending to be, that's maybe outside of plan a little bit, to be on things that bring her absolute fucking joy. I'm just like, I love that, because we're never going to adhere 100% to a plan. That's just not how life works.
Right.
But if you're spending outside of your plan, having it be something that, you look at it or you go to the thing and you're ecstatically happy.
Yes.
That's just like, that's goals right there. I love that.
Setting parameters, and then within those parameters, getting to be free.
Yep.
Okay. So with the underconsumption and the Project Pan, how have you been applying this?
So I just started thinking about this recently. And for me, I'm going to focus on hair products. If there's any listeners out there who are down the rabbit hole of their curly hair journey, you are probably much like me, where you have a boatload of products because you saw it on Amazon, or you saw it when you were out shopping, or you saw an Instagram ad and
they said, this is the best thing for my curls.
This is going to save my life. Mm-hmm. It's going to make my hair bouncy and curly and lovely. And I don't have those kind of curls. I have wavy curly hair, so it's never going to be bouncy, and I just need to be okay with that. But I was looking at the amount of stuff that I have. It's just like, this is too much. And some of it didn't work for me. So I started to give some of that away.
Doesn't that feel good?
It feels so good. And especially too, like I have a friend with curly hair who has completely differently structured hair than me. She has the tight curls. She has thick hair. So a lot of the things that don't work for my hair will work for her. So being able to give that away to help her and also help me. I think it helps me even more because it just feels good to get rid of it and free up space. And I can't wait until I have like one shampoo and one conditioner. It's going to be lovely, but it's going to take me a while to get there because I've accumulated a lot of stuff. So I want to hear the blush story.
Okay, the blush story.
Blush confessions from Val.
Before we leave the hair product, I want to say you and I are similar in the sense of we've bought lots of curl products. And to your point, yes, having one left would be so satisfying, but you get one and you go, oh, it doesn't work the way I thought it would, and then you get the next one and you go, oh, it doesn't work the way I thought it would. Like you think there's going to be something better out there, and there maybe is, but using what we have before we go and get more, let's focus on that. So the blush story, I had a blush palette that I bought for Christmas 2 or 3 years ago, and I had dropped it just enough times that every time I opened it, not only was it crumbly, but the actual mechanism that holds the top to the bottom was broken. So then I was getting blush.
So messy.
So messy. So I threw it out. It wasn't, there was pan showing, but it wasn't totally empty. So I said for Christmas, as a Christmas idea, you can get me blush. But I had 2 other little blushes. So I was not empty. So I asked for blush. But then when I was at Winners, I saw these blush sticks that were kind of like chapsticks. There's 3 in a pack. And I bought 2 packs because they were different colors. I know.
When it comes to blush, can you even tell any difference from the different colors?
I can. I don't think that you actually can, but well, they're not pinks. Like some of them are more bronze.
And then did you get blush for Christmas?
Yes, I did. So
you're going to have to be blushed up. Like I was trying to think of, there's somebody who like does makeup in extreme way. That's the level of blush that I want to see.
Like drag queen blush. I've got to go drag.
I want to see, like, I want to be able to tell.
I want to know where exactly you put it. With the
sticks, I want to see just like 2 or 3 stripes and don't blend it in.
So this morning I'm putting the sticks on and I thought to myself, at this rate, essentially chapstick rate, these are going to take forever to finish. And I have 6. I did give one away to a friend. I tried to make her take 2, but I'm going to send pictures of them to my sisters and say, I have selected the 3 that I enjoy. Someone else take these, because then like they're probably going to dry out.
So you're trying to burden your sisters with an excessive amount of blush that's going to take years to use up. Although for funsies, let's circle back to this conversation in 3 to 5 years. I want to encourage you, because this is something I'm starting to do too. I started it with like my most recent bag of coffee beans, but I want to start it with like my cosmetics and hair products too. Is like putting the date on them to see like how long does it take me to use this?
Oh, that's so fun.
And I think it will help a little bit with like time blindness, but I also think it's going to help me focus more on underconsumption, because if I know, this moisturizer takes me 2 months to use up, it'll also help me. I just showed Val my cosmetic or my like skincare products, and I don't wear makeup like very, very. I wear it very, very rarely.
Can I interest you in a blush?
No, you cannot. Even if I do wear makeup, I do not wear blush because I basically have the makeup techniques of like skills of a toddler. Blush isn't for me. And yeah, I am naturally rosy, but I just showed Val my skincare in a judgment-free space. And I buy products from The Ordinary because it's low cost. And I found that buying something that was more economical to purchase, I was actually using an adequate amount of it, because before I was buying a higher end price skincare and I was being very, very stingy with it. And then realized that when I was trying to use it up so that I could start the new stuff, I'm like, oh, this is the level of skincare I'm probably supposed to use, because now I can see its impact on my skin. So The Ordinary, every November, they have a sale. So I stocked up in November. So my skincare drawer is popping right now, but writing the dates on them and being able to track how long it takes me will help me next November when I'm buying. And I have the space to store it. And I think it was 23% off. So if I can save 23% and I'm putting a little bit of money away each month to make that larger purchase, then for me, I still think that I don't think that falls into overconsumption, because I'm still only buying the products that I specifically use, not like 6 extra types of products. So it's just multiples of the ones that I do use. So
I would say that ties in with when we stock up on essentials.
Yes.
Right? Kind of.
If I didn't have a lot of space, or if I didn't have the money to do it, I wouldn't do it. But then ultimately, I saved 23%. But also, if there's price increases throughout the year, I'm justifying this. This is how ADHD brains work. But it's like it's stuff that I use, and it makes me feel calm because I know that I've got it covered for ideally until next November. But I don't know, because I wasn't tracking how long it took me to use things. But
does it then, when a skincare something comes up on social media and someone's like, this is the best, blah, 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 does your brain go, I don't need that. I have something I love. Like, does it remove that for you? Or does your brain go, ooh, should I try that?
I think it's a combination. I think it goes to like, ooh, but then no, don't need it because I have products that I need. So it doesn't stop me from that initial ooh.
Right. But it does put the pause.
Yeah, it helps me because I'm like, I'm good. I don't need that. And I know what it feels like to have multiple things of skincare, and it just feels a lot and overwhelming. Yes. And so yeah. And I think one of the things is like, then how do you get started with either of these? And I found an article yesterday. It says like, take a picture of all the things that you have. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I'm focusing on hair care, is take all of the products of the same, like all the shampoo, all the conditioner, combine them up together, take a picture, and then just see what. And I also saw somebody on social media when they were sharing about it is they had all their stuff in a bin, but then they also kept a bin for the things that they had emptied. So it could really help them see, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get rid of that. But to be able to compare where you started to where you are in, 3 months, 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also to start this, I cheated a little bit because I have 2 curl creams and I just mixed them together.
That feels good.
Get rid of one.
I was going to ask, because this is top of mind, do you find you use more to use it up?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Not obviously.
But with maybe a little bit more with shampoo conditioner, but not with a curl cream because my hair is so thin. If I use more, it'll just look like a drowned rat. Yeah. But honestly, I've come to the realization that there's no perfect product out there that's going to make my hair be something that it's not. And I think that's really the core of diving into both Underconsumption and Project Pan, is that there's no miracle thing out there despite what social media tells us. So really leaning into that and understanding.
Maybe the universe, once you create space, will send you the ordinary for your hair. Because like the ordinary you've nailed down for your face. So
they do have hair care.
Stop. That's not what I meant. But they do.
Maybe. Because I do have some, and I do have some on my Amazon card, and I've been really good at the save for later. Like find something I'm interested in, save for later. And I also like the fact that then it shows you if there's a price change or a price decrease.
I did go through my save for later over the Christmas break and deleted a whack of it.
Oh, that feels good too. Oh, even though it's not physical stuff, it's like stuff that's taking up a little section of our brains.
Yes. It's clutter.
Yeah.
A little clutter.
And that's another benefit of both Project Pan and Underconsumption is it reduces the clutter. And if we reduce the physical clutter in our space, it helps us reduce our mental clutter too. So as somebody who really knows out of sight, out of mind, a lot of the things that I use regularly and I want to use regularly have a space on a horizontal surface. So fewer things, more free space on horizontal surfaces. And also like there's the environmental impact too, right? Like people who want to improve the environment, they'll often go out and like buy these new things because they're environmentally friendly and then throw
away the old stuff.
But you're throwing that out when it might not be the best choice for the environment, but using it is the best choice versus like just putting it in the garbage, unless it's super toxic and you're allergic or something like that. Like use up what you've got is like for the environment, but also for your pocketbook too. And I think as an ADHDer who like it depends. Some of us are really rule followers. Yes. And when you say, I'm not going to buy something until I use up this, and this, being so stringent on rules, if that's where you fall into, can really be helpful versus like not really having any spending hard and fast rules.
I would also say knowing where it is and knowing what you have, because there was so much product that I had from years ago just in this random cupboard. I went through and got rid of a lot of it. But to your point, like taking a picture of it, knowing what you have, huge.
I have a bag. Found some shampoo and conditioner in a random bag with like travel stuff and little samples. So sometimes I'll order the ordinary stuff from Sephora because then I can use Rakuten and get cash back. And then Sephora always sends samples too. And the samples are great, but they can be very cluttery too. So
samples
samples And I'm also going to use up stuff that I have in travel containers, because when I would go to travel, I'd be like, what shampoo is this?
What is this?
I have no idea.
Mystery.
So just having like travel containers that are empty feels like a weight lifting too, because then I can put in the stuff that I'm using and know that it's not 6 shampoos mixed together.
We should do a podcast on what makes us feel lighter.
Somebody can go through all our podcasts, please, and write down a list of all the things we said we were going to do. We try and do it, but it doesn't always work.
I have another idea, but I'll save it for later. So when it comes to decluttering, kind of getting also to a bit of that simple lifestyle. What's the word for that? There's another word for it.
Like the slow life minimalist.
Minimalist.
Yeah. It's never going to be minimalist.
I will be minimal-ish. Minimal-ish. Okay.
I'm here for it.
Right? I would like to be. I will be. I will be minimal-ish. The Project Pan. What advice do we have for someone? Because this can also feel very overwhelming when you have a lot of overconsumption in a lot of different areas of life, whether it's clothing, food, ingredients, shoes, freaking journals and notebooks. Holy, I went through those over the Christmas break. Insane. Still bought one for 2025.
Damn it, Val.
I boxed up the old ones, and one day I'll just burn them all.
I'm going to give you mine to put in the box to burn.
Yeah.
But also, fun tip, if you are also an iPad Good Notes person, which I know you are, so you didn't need to buy the journal.
No, I didn't.
Go into Canva and Google,
it's
not Google, it's searching. Search for like annual planner, daily planner, weekly planner, and you will get a boatload of them. And then you can try it for a week or a month and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, you just try another one, and then it's not a planner.
Remind me of that in 2026. Okay.
I'm going to delay send a text. December 15th, 2025. Don't buy the planner. Good Notes.
Don't
Good
touch
Notes is
it.
worth that. Yeah, just focusing on one area.
Yes.
Because if you try and reduce the amount of things you have.
Again, it's that extreme, and then we binge back to the other extreme.
Yeah, pick one area to start with. So maybe it's skincare. Maybe it's just as simple as blush.
Yeah, I was about to say one area or one item. Like, well, something that's not toothpaste, unless you're really close to the end of your toothpaste, like something that gives a closer dopamine hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. Like if we're choosing ingredients, I don't know.
Well, that's one thing that came up too in my search was pantry items or freezer stuff. Like food can apply here as well. Like what's something that's you feel cluttered, whether that's in your fridge or your freezer or your cupboard or your bathroom cupboard, and what item or genre of items could you focus on first to reduce? Not as hardcore as like the hair care products, but I also have been really thinking lately about I don't want to have to think so much about my clothes. Like I want to be able to just go and get a t-shirt off of my t-shirt pile and not be like, is this t-shirt okay enough for today? And I'm like, well, which ones aren't okay enough for the day ever? And why do I keep them?
Yes, why do I have them?
Yeah. So just focusing on simplifying things.
That feels good too.
Simplifying life. Less stuff, less spending. It's win-win for everyone, but especially for our amazing ADHD brains.
Yeah. I like it. Okay.
Cheers to less shit in 2025.
Yes. Less shit, more space.
Thank you for being here. And don't forget to like and subscribe and come follow us on social media, which you can find in the show notes below. And we can't wait to see you next time on the Mind and Money podcast.